Now with Mars, there are retrograde. Mars has its retrograde cycle. It's a much longer retrograde cycle, and it happens only with Mercury. It's 3 times a year. With Venus, it's 2 times a year. With the Mars, it happens once every 2 years. With the other planets, it's once a year as the years come. But because Mars and the Earth are fairly close to each other and move, well, the one's a little, Earth's twice as fast, but it's still, they're close to each other. So as they're going by each other, it's like 2 trains going. The faster train going makes the slower train look like it's going backwards when it's both going forward, but one looks like, so because as Mercury, whenever a planet is retrograded, Mercury and Venus is always on the side of the Earth, between the Earth and the Sun. Whenever Mars or the other planets are retrograde, it's when the Sun's in opposition. It's in the phase from almost a little just past the trine to the waxing trine to the waning trine, in that opposition phase. That's when Mars is retrograde, Jupiter is retrograde, Saturn, any of the planets, other planets are retrograde. And not quite a third of the circle, but it's just in that vicinity. So this is a diagram of the Earth and the blue points going in, and as it goes in, you see the background of the sky. It draws lines to see against the stars, and you can see how they start moving forward and moving backwards as they go past each other. We just draw the diagrams and watch it sort of from the degrees, but if you're looking against space, it can be like this. This is another. Take the same drawing, but without. It's more, just shows the Sun, the Earth moving around in the same points and how they switch against the background of the heavens. So even if you take your finger and you close one eye and the other eye, the background shifts. So it's a bit like that. Okay. There's a shifting background. Mars isn't going different. Mars isn't going backwards in the surface, going straight forward. Earth is going straight forward, but it's just because the two get beside each other, the speeds become comparable, and Mars looks like it's going backwards. I mean, they're both going from Earth. Mars is the slow train that they're passing that looks like it's going backwards. Okay, so a lot of people won't have Mars retrograde, but Mars does go retrograde, and when it does, it's a very prominent factor. And the turning points are very strong factors in the time. So the difference is in the timings. I mean, when you're looking at Mars retrograde, this is way more than a lifetime. So you're not going to always, the starting point is almost invisible, and more often than not would be before you're born, going back into another lifetime, or go back into your mother's pregnancy if you want. It goes back time. Remember, we're looking at ephemeris as in days, but we're interpreting it as the progressive ephemeris in years of our life. So, okay, same concept of the retrograde, but a Mars retrograde is approximately 72 years, almost a lifetime. It can be anywhere. I've seen it from 60. I just looked at the ephemeris and checked out some things. So I saw it could be as fast as 61 days or 61 years. I could be as long as 82 years, and I didn't go through hundreds and hundreds of years, so it could be a bit wider than that. But each one fluctuates depending how close the Earth is to Mars, or how far away, or what part of the orbits they're in, how long they stay in retrograde. So this retrograde, we'll just say assuming 72 years for the retrograde cycle, from retrograde, stationary retrograde to stationary direct. Okay, a lifetime. So you're not going to experience the whole phase going up, going retrograde, and coming back. You're going to get parts of it. Your life will be parts of these cycles. So the build-up phase from the starting point till it goes retrograde, stationary retrograde, is 62 or more years. So 2 more years to get to retrograde, 72 years could be as much as 80 some odd years going back to the stationary direct. It's a long time. And then it's another 62 or more years to get back to the completion point. So here, it's possible to be born at a certain time, and you're never going to live from the stationary retrograde to the completion point. But if you're born towards towards the end, the stationary direct period, if you're born in that period, you may get up to the point of you may get up to the completion point. If you get to the completion point, it's not till you get a completion point that Mars is really free of this old cycle and is beginning the new cycle. But it would seem like your life is just still going forward because you're just going to have Mars going direct the whole time. But there would be a significant change at that point, even though you weren't alive when that period happened. Okay, now, when Mars goes retrograde, when it hits that stationary retrograde period, and in that degree it's in, where it goes stationary retrograde, it's going to be 25 years, plus or minus, not a set factor, but it's close to 25 years within 1 degree, within the same degree. Now, this can be shorter if the retrograde happens at, say, 15 minutes of a degree, or 45 minutes of a degree. It could be, this part going in here could be longer or shorter, but it's generally within the degree of this is 25 years. 25 years, that's, that's a long time that Mars is not pushing forward, not going back. It seems to be sitting there. It's just in a fixed attitude. And yeah, it's a lot longer period than when we had, like it's small, like Mercury and Venus were much shorter periods. Here, you're getting into line. The other planets are even huger, or larger, excuse the expressions. But anyways, this phase of being in this 1 degree, when it's in this 1 degree, it's there for a large chunk of your life. This is where it begins. With the other planets, it begins to see. It's important to see the penta, the subpenta, and the subdivisions of the zodiac. It's important to see the hexagrams and the lines, the subhexagrams and lines for this actual 1 degree. You're going to see it has a very predominant factor in your chart, and it will be valid for such a long period of time. So in the way we're teaching this class, it's not interactive, so we're not getting the feedback of what's happening at this time, which is a little more, it takes some of the fun away, but that's the magic of personal, when there was personal classes. Times change, it's so expensive to rent a room, but to have a room for 12 weeks or for 3 years. And then just come in, and then it makes the classes way too high. So anyways, we're having to do it without that feedback. And I haven't strongly accentuated, like I pointed out the need to refer to the hexagram. We went through the hexagrams with the sun and the sun degrees. We looked at that and saw how there's 3 levels and went through them and saw type information. I'm not going to do it with Mars, although we could. I will start doing it more with the outer planets when they do smaller movements over longer periods of time. But this 25 years is a long period of time to have Mars in a set degree. Okay, now a lot of times if you have, say, Mars squared Pluto or something, it comes up and it's going to make the aspect, it'll make Mars movements will make that aspect closer, or be moving away from it and then move back to it, or move closer to it and closer to it and then back away from it. So there's a process of seeing how it affects in your chart that way. So it's the same thing with the When it's going stationary direct, it's a 25-year phase, 12 and a 12, 13 years each way. Slowing down to be direct, and just slowly speeding up to go more quickly direct. So that speed of slowing down and doing it, that's going to be, I don't know how to measure it, I don't know how to talk about it, because it's different than when someone just has Mars going straight forward in their life. It's a different texture, different sense of what the world is and how it's about what you can do and what you can't do. Okay.